All right, what's up, everybody? Thanks for clicking this video. Thanks for tuning into my channel. My name is Simon Hill, Black American from Louisiana, coming to you live past Hungary. The time where I'm at is 10:50 p.m. and the date is November 14th, 2024. And I'm just coming on live for about 30 minutes or so to chop it up with the people and talk about something that's been on my mind. And I want to talk about this viral tweet or this viral meme of Nick Fuentes, a notable young zillennial white supremacist who has had a talk show that he hosts on his own website that often goes viral for the crazy things he says on there. And during the election, he was celebrating the win of his guy, Donald Trump, even though Nick didn't think that Donald Trump would win. And Nick Fuentes said, hilariously to the camera, ha ha, ladies, eyes up, you lost, your body, my choice, forever. Tweeted it out. It went super viral. Nick Fuentes has since gotten doxxed. People are like showing up at his house. A woman got pepper sprayed in the face. He showed up at Nick Fuentes' door. He's getting swatted. Things about his family are being revealed. And the thing is, I just wanted to talk about this, right? Because, what Nick Fuentes says is, horrible. But it's memeable. It's memeable. It's memorable. Saying to a woman, your body, my choice. I mean, come on, that's just so outrageous. It sounds like something Cartman would say. It sounds like something Peter Griffin would say. It sounds like something like an evil villain in a Family Guy episode would say. And so you hear it and you're like, damn, that's so wicked. But it's so memeable and memorable, and it's just a punchline. Now, I want to talk about something related to this. Earlier this year, there was that meme going around that the Haitians in Springfield, Ohio were eating the cats and dogs and stuff like that. And as you know, I'm a student out here in Budapest, Hungary. I'm studying sociology at a university here to get my bachelor's, then master's, and eventually my PhD in sociology. I plan to take it all the way, right? And do something to help my people. Write books, teach, educate, protest, march, go to whatever I got to do to help. But I'm out here studying, and most of my teachers, all of my teachers are very white. And they're mostly Hungarians, and they're very disconnected from any sort of movement for social change. They don't have any sort of political correctness around them, and they find whatever they find be funny. So when Donald Trump earlier this year was saying that the Haitians in Springfield, Ohio are eating the cats and dogs, and everybody was spreading memes about it and songs and stuff like that, there were people finding that so funny and hilarious. And there were jokes about it online. There were people who were making song remixes of, no, the Haitians, they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs, and the auto-tune and all that sort of stuff. And I remember being in class and my psychology teacher said, has anybody heard about Trump and the cats and the dogs? He said Haitians are eating the cats and the dogs. And he pulled out the phone that was playing a song remix of Trump saying the Haitians are eating the cats and they're eating the dogs and all that stuff. And he started laughing and I started laughing. The only black person in there. And so I say in the classroom, a lecture hall, I say, that's not true. And also, that's not funny. Swear to God, I did it. I probably wrote about it in the episode of Notes from the Undergrad where I talk about that psychology class. That happened about a month ago, right? It's not funny because that's blood libel. Imagine we were making songs saying, oh, the Jews are eating Palestinian babies and they're pissing in children's mouths and they're fucking the dead corpses of the women that they murder in Gaza. Let's say there was a song that said that. Let's say we live in an alternate universe where the anti-Semites on the right wing are actually open about their anti-Semitism, and they were very much against the genocide in Gaza, and they were openly saying, yeah, the Jews are doing evil, horrific things, like eating babies, drinking their blood, pissing in their mouths, and doing sacrifices of Palestinian children. And we were all laughing about it. Yeah, the Jews are evil, the Jews are horrible, the Jews are the devils on earth, and all that sort of stuff. How about if we were laughing about that? Or let's make it even more real. Let's say, hypothetically, Trump in an alternate universe, is talking about, yeah, the Hungarians, they suck dog dicks and swallow the cum. And so all we have are songs online saying, Hungarians, they swallow the dog cum, all the songs like that. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Nelson Moreno says, not gonna lie, I was laughing at Your Body, My Choice. I'm not gonna lie, that's funny as hell, but I'm gonna get to that. Nelson Moreno says also, it's funny if you're laughing at Trump. That's the thing. We were laughing at Trump, but we have to remember that a lot of people are stupid as fuck. A lot of people are dumb as fuck. They don't know any Haitians. They couldn't point to Haiti on the map. And even a lot of people are anti-black. So if you're going to say that this group of black people who immigrated to America also come from a place where they eat cats and dogs and people are hella ignorant, they just might say, yeah, that's true. Because there's a lot of people that honestly believe Trump, believe in him so much that they gave him the keys to the nuclear codes to be in the Oval Office again. So what I'm trying to say is, like, you know, the humor that Trump used propelled him to power. Nick Fuentes is using humor to propel him to power. And what makes it even worse is I think Nick Fuentes might get mainstreamed. He's outside right now, but I think it's very likely by the time I'm in my middle ages, 40, 50, 60 years old, Nick Fuentes is gonna have like a slot Fox News. I promise you, Nick Fuentes is gonna be like Tucker Carlson is today. Not the Tucker Carlson who's stuck on, you know, purgatory on X. I mean like Tucker Carlson, primetime Fox News. Nick Fuentes will be primetime material. That's the point I'm trying to say. And the thing is, this is when I sort of knew that Trump and Nick Fuentes had something in common in their command of humor. Because I was teaching an English class about the election results and teaching it to these two Serbians. Actually, one was Serbian, the other one was Russian. And while we were reading the story about what happened in the election of 2024, they started talking about Trump, saying that the Haitians eating the cats, eating the dogs. And guess what the Serbians did? They started laughing. They started smiling too. And that's when I realized, oh, Trump had a hit record. What made 2024 work for Trump is he had a hit record. You get what I'm saying? He had a #1 hit song in the fact that he made people move, groove, dance, and laugh to the idea that there are black people who eat cats and dogs. And people find that funny. People find that funny, right? Maybe they find it funny because they're laughing at Trump because it's so ridiculous. Maybe they find it funny because it allows them to channel their anti-blackness in one direction. Maybe they find it funny because it makes fun of nationality that they don't know anything about, so they can sort of just laugh it off and say, oh, I'm just being silly because I don't know anything about these people at all. Who knows? But the fact is, it's still based on a specific group of people that is factual, true, and hateful at its core. And that also allows a permission structure to be built around those people where violence can be enacted upon them. That's the problem. We find it so easy to laugh at Haitians. We find it so easy to laugh at black people, to laugh at Africans. Let it be that we were making fun of Jewish people. Let us be here saying that the Jews eat children and drink their blood. Let us be here making fun of Serbians, saying that they're all war criminals and that they all want to rape Kosovar women. Let us be making fun of Hungarians, saying that they're all 5'2", get drunk all day, and lose every single war. Let us be here making fun of them and see how much they laugh. But we can make fun of Haitians, and on top of that, we can make fun of women. We can make fun of women. We can tell them, your body, my choice, forever. Baby, you will never break that glass ceiling. It's a ceiling made out of bricks. You keep running your stupid face into it. All that sort of stuff. We can say that sort of stuff because we can always demonize an other. We can demonize an other. We can make fun of an other at their expense, which should be shameful for us to do. Anyway, Nelson Moreno says, I laugh when I'm listening to a true crime prod and woman gets murked by her 6'6" boyfriend with the past 10 convictions. Listen, I think there's a difference between laughing at people doing stupid stuff and laughing at jokes that make fun of entire communities of people. I think that's the big difference. The big difference I'm trying to make is like, yeah, there's somebody who might do something so stupid. I got with my boyfriend again after he just got out of prison for murdering 12 women, and then I'm the 13th woman killed. We can laugh at that broad to some degree. To some degree. Even though femicide is never funny, we can laugh at people who make stupid choices. Like we're about to laugh at America, who just allowed an open fascist to become the president. We're going to laugh as America continues to go down the toilet in the drain and continues to be the laughing stock of the world. We can laugh at America for making a stupid choice, but we're not going to make fun of, generally, a people group. You get what I'm saying? Now, the only people you can make fun of, by and large, are Americans, because Americans have proven themselves to be stupid. But you cannot laugh at Haitians saying they eat cats and dogs the same way you can't laugh at Jewish people saying that they kill Christian children and drink their blood. Or that Jews, whenever they give circumcisions to their babies, they put their mouths on it to cauterize the wound for some reason. Or to suck up the blood, to stop the bleeding on children's penises when they do circumcisions. We don't do that. We don't do that. But yet and still a blood libel against black people is always funny. And this is the thing. Nick Fuentes made a funny ass joke that I saw on my Twitter feed in the short section. Then when I scroll up, the thing I see is Nick Fuentes giving permission or sort of like reasons why the Nazis burning books was a good thing. And then I scroll up again and I see more Nick Fuentes content basically saying Hitler was a good guy. I scroll up again and I have him saying we want to take it back to the 1950s when the blacks knew their place and all that sort of stuff. That's the thing. Imagine I was a young white boy. Imagine Simon Hill Keeps It Trill was actually Simon Hill Keeps It Lil Bill. I don't know. Simon Hill Keeps It Suburban. Simon Hill Keeps It Suburban. Imagine I was a white boy. Imagine I was a white boy. Imagine I was a young white boy. I'm on Twitter. I find this funny meme of this white guy saying, your body, might. I laugh hysterically. I show it to all my guy friends. Then the next thing you know, I scroll up and then I see, wow, maybe Hitler wasn't that bad of a guy. Wait, ever the Jews went, they got kicked out? Wait, oh, communism really is a Marxist Jewish conspiracy to spread degeneracy to the youth? Wow. Oh, the next thing I see, interracial relationships between black and white women is no different than bestiality. You get what I'm saying? Like, you can fall down that wormhole. All the Nick Fuentes, like, greatest hits. You get what I'm saying? And that's the thing that makes fascism so dangerous. That's the thing we have to be so vigilant, because the fascists always say it's just a joke. They make it seem like it's just a joke. I'm going to the comments. Nelson Moreno says, I love whites. It's just jokes. Diddy did some good things regarding white men and women. Number one, free Diddy. Free Diddy. Because if we could have a felon in the White House, I want to party with my felons. I want to listen to R. Kelly and party with Diddy. I want to go to an R. Kelly concert and party with Diddy. Facts. If y'all gonna let that racist, white, convicted, rapist felon up in the White House, we want Diddy out. Facts. I'm standing on business. Fuck the white supremacists who want to try to call me out, and fuck any black people who are gonna say, nah, we don't want Diddy out. All right. Avery says he's on a victory lap until 2028. I hope you celebrate, man, when we got white people up in the Oval Office telling your black kids that slavery was a good thing. I hope you enjoy that, Avery. Nelson Moreno says it's time to fight back instead of trying to ban and pretend it's all under control. This is the thing. This is what I'm trying to get at, Nelson. We need to not laugh at the white fascist jokes, but we need to make our own we need to make our own black fascist jokes and black fascist humor. The only way that we can fight back against white supremacy, because if we're not going to actually embrace actual revolution, we need to create an ideology, a framework of black fascism. That's the only way. We need to start looking at ourselves the same way the white supremacists look at ourselves, look at themselves. The white supremacists say that they are the number one race, that they're the creators or progenitors of everything, and that they want to create a ethnic society based with their supremacy in mind. We need to create the same sort of framework, because that's the only way we're going to be able to motivate our young boys to pick up them guns and fight. They're not going to fight and die over Marxist utopia. As a communist, I know for a fact that the ideas that the communists and the Marxists and the socialists have are hard as hell to get across. If it were up to me, the unifying ideology for all of us would be the idea that we are workers in a system of capitalism that is exploitative, and it was all built on the backs of black people. And our liberation will only come as black people when we eliminate capitalism. I know that's hard as hell for a lot of niggas to understand, but if we're able just to tell them, hey, we're black, we got the strongest genes, the biggest dicks, and the biggest brains, therefore everybody should be under us, I think more people can get on board, rather than the idea that we're going to liberate everybody. We need to embrace Afro-fascism, use humor the same way that the white supremacists do. We need to create our own memes. We need to create our own type of 4chan. We need to create our own sort of black supremacist networks where we're able to actually counteract all of this BS. Because what's about to happen in America, the type of stuff that Avery is celebrating, is the white supremacist dream. They have token donkeys, like in Planet of the Apes. If you know what the donkeys were the apes who were working with the humans to kill the monkeys that were trying to take over the planet. So the white supremacists have blacks who are donkeys supporting them as they continue to gerrymander ourselves out of existence, pack the Supreme Courts, pack the federal judges, and everything like that. You get what I'm saying? While donkeys like that, we need to create our own fascist black soldiers. We need Afro-fascism. We need Afro-fascism. We need Afro-fascism. Because if it works for the white supremacists, damn sure we can work on it better. Anything the white man has created, we can make it better. I repeat, anything the white man has made, we can make better. We need to take fascism and make it our own. Out of all the ideologies, out of all the creations the white supremacists have made, we have not touched fascism, and we should. We should be crafting a fascist ideology that works for black people. We should be using humor the same way that the white supremacists are able to trick their young boys into becoming racist, white supremacists, xenophobic, jingoistic, nationalistic killers. We need to be using humor to create the same thing for our black children. We need a black Pingentrin. We need a black Dylan Roof. We need a black Donald Trump. And the only way we're going to get that is if we start creating some black peps, some black 4chans, and start posting and getting our stuff up. We need a black Nick Fuentes. For real. We need somebody who's willing to take all the arrows over the hill, to advocate for Afro-fascism, to say that we are the top supreme. That's what we need. That's what we need. Because what is happening to these young white boys? They're getting radicalized off of the Nick Fuentes memes. They're getting radicalized off of the wild stuff that Trump says. They think it's funny, and we just need to counteract that. And I'm telling y'all, anything black people do, we made it better. Look at mac and cheese, made it better. Skateboarding, made it better. Music in general, made it better. Anything that we touch, we can make it better. We can make fascism better. We need to embrace Afro-fascism. That's what I'm trying to say here. All right. So Nelson Moreno says they don't joke about the Jews the same way they joke about black people. Facts. Facts. I said that before and I'll say it again. If they were talking the same way about Jewish people, the way they were talking about Haitians this year, Trump would have lost. Trump would have lost. But it's easy to make fun of the Haitians. It's easy to make the Haitians, man. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, your body, my choice. Your body, my choice. Your body, my choice. That shit is hilarious. And I think the point I'm going to wrap up with is this. Nick Fuentes said in that viral meme that you can find that a woman president would never happen, right? And I've been thinking about this in my head, whether the Democrats should run another woman. I would respect them a lot if they did. I think Elizabeth Warren could still go for it. I think Kamala could still go for it. I think the Democrats should just go full on and have Bernie Sanders transition into a woman, and that way they can kill 3-4 birds in one stone. We have their first trans president, our first Jewish president, our first socialist president, our first president with convoluted pronouns. You get what I'm saying? We need to make sure that we check all of those boxes down. But Nick Fuentes says it doesn't seem likely that we'll have a women president. Avery says, Simon, that's gay. It might be gay, but just do it. I think the Democrats would do themselves a favor if they just double down on all the identity politics and double it up again. But that's if your guy even wants to give it up. That's if your guy wants to give it up, Avery. Because I want to know, your guy was about to steal the election this time. How would you feel if he just says, yeah, we're going to suspend elections next 4 years? Would you be okay with that? Would you be okay with that? Can we try? He's a rapist. He's a felon. He's a liar. He's an insurrectionist. Avery, would you be okay if he said, nah, you know what, those presidential elections, let's not do it again next year? My guy Elon Musk says that the elections are rigged, that the machines aren't guaranteed to work this year. So we're going to suspend it until further notice. Would you be okay with that? Because it's very much in the realm of possibility. Anyway, going here to Nelson Moreno, he says, Feminists online openly hate on men, playing dangerous games, and black people pay the consequences as usual. I have sympathy towards feminists. Yeah, it's one thing to Avery says he'll like that if he suspends elections. Okay, I can't get with that. This is why it's lost. This is why I'm gonna stay in Europe. I'm gonna stay in Europe, man. I can't deal with that. Anyway, feminists openly hate on men. Feminists online. Listen, man. Nelson, I don't think you realize that a lot of people online be lying about their identities and personalities, man. I think there's not as many women online who are hating on men. If you're looking on Twitter, half of those people on Twitter are Russian bots, North Korean like agents, and just angry white men in basements. You get what I'm saying? Like all those Black for Trump's accounts, like many of them were exposed for being just like, white guys in their basements. So yeah, let's not get caught up in that. And yeah, the feminists who are hating on men online, I have nothing to say about that. But this is the thing. More violence is inflicted on women anyway. All right? JS Ventures, Avery is like Pinocchio who really wants to be a white boy. That's crazy, man. That's crazy, man. Y'all leave Avery alone, man. He gets the best of both worlds. He got the president he liked, but he gets to live in a state full of rich black people, beautiful scenery. He lives in Maryland, man. He's in Disneyland. He's in the heaven for black people, right? So he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine. But I would encourage him to come move down to Louisiana, move down to South Carolina if he really loves those Republican policies. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is like the fascism that we're seeing right now. It's being permeated through the jokes and through the memes. And Nick Fuentes is just somebody who continues to talk and finds a way to continue to permeate in the atmosphere. And that's the number one thing that we should learn from the internet. No matter what, there's no such thing as being canceled. There's no such thing as being like taken off the airwaves. Like as long as you continue to talk and get your message out and people gravitate towards it, somebody will pick it up, it will travel, and you will have an audience and fans. I should have known that Trump was gonna win this year when Kanye West had the #1 album this year. I should have known that Trump was gonna win this year when Mr. I Love Hitler had the #1 album and song in the country this year. There's no such thing as being canceled. There's no such thing as not being able to come back or bounce back because the American people don't care about hate. They don't care about that. They're willing to embrace fascism. They're willing to embrace, the worst in us. You get what I'm saying? JS Venture says, where was Kendrick? That's another thing. We should have known that Trump was going to win this year by how much Not Like Us rang off. Right now in the atmosphere, people love nationalism. People love exclusionary,ism. People love putting people on outside boxes. People love feeling like it's us versus them right now. But maybe it's a reaction to the globalism in the world right now. Maybe because when people are so broke and poor, they just want to fight the other. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But Not Like Us in the Trump era ain't going to ring off the same. Not Like Us in the Trump ain't gonna ring off the same. And this is probably gonna be a topic for tomorrow's live stream. There are racist white boys out here listening to hip hop. Can you imagine that? I could not imagine that we have racist white boys, MAGA people, listening to hip hop. Like that's from my generation, like I find that so fascinating. You have white people listening to the 4th verse in Not Like Us. Once upon a time, all of us was in, homie still double down, calling us some slaves. You got white people listening to that with MAGA hats on. The settlers was using town folk to get us richer. 2020, you got the same agenda. You run to Atlanta when you need a check balance. No, you're not a colleague, you a fuck colonizer. There's white people with MAGA hats listening to that. You get what I'm saying? And still saying, yeah, make America great again. That's the crazy part. There are racist white people who love Kendrick Lamar. That's the topic for tomorrow's live stream. But the point I'm trying to make is like this. We need to create our own fascism. Nick Fuentes is continuing to permeate the atmosphere because he's a funny little fuck. And on top of that, there's no such thing as being canceled, especially at what Trump just pulled. He got shot at. He got convicted of felonies. He was convicted of rape. had his name dragged all through the mud every single day of the year, and was still able to bounce back. It's the greatest comeback story of all time. I'm not going to take that away from him, but I think that goes to show all of us this. No matter what anybody says about you, you can come back from it. No matter what people say on the internet, you can come back from it. There's no such thing as being canceled. And with that being said, I'm going to stand on this. We need our own black Peyton Gentrant. We need our own black Nick Fuentes. We need our own black Dylan Roof. We need to cultivate an atmosphere of black fascism amongst black people, because that is the only way to get us motivated to fight against this rising fascism that is coming for all of us. That is coming for all of us. I repeat, the only way for us to be prepared for this wave of fascism that is coming is if we create our own black Nazis, if we create our own black skinheads, if we create our own black hateful people. That's the only way we're going to be able to fight against this. I swear to God, I'm telling y'all going to look back on this 4, 5, 10 years from now and be like, yep, he was right. I swear to God. I swear to God, because there's no motivating us. There's no motivating us. There's no motivating us other than pure hatred. That's all I'm getting from humanity now. The only thing we're motivated by is hatred of the other, despising the other, caring more about what we deem our in-group. Who is us? They're not like us, so what we need to be to make sure we're a solid us, the only thing that seems to be binding people right now is hatred of the other. So we have to hate people. We need black skinheads. We need black Nazis. We need black neo-Nazis. We need all of that. That's what we need right now. We need to embrace fascism and the hatred of other people who are not like us. That is the only way we're going to be ready, because these white boys are getting turned up and turned out off this Nick Fuentes meme culture. Your body, my choice, opening the gateway, opening the floods for all these white boys to get turned up on some real nasty stuff. All right? JS Ventures says, I challenge Kendrick to talk about black issues in a medium that doesn't give him money. That's the thing, man. I wouldn't be surprised if Kendrick turned out to be MAGA. I would not be surprised if Kendrick turned out to be MAGA. We have to remember, Kendrick Lamar is a high school dropout. Kendrick Lamar is a man from Compton. Kendrick Lamar is a man who saw the worst of neoliberalism in America. Therefore, he saw his cousins go to jail. He saw guns flood Compton. He saw people getting murdered out in the street. He saw crack cocaine flood his city streets. So his point of view is probably, it's no different, red or blue, blood or Crip. Who cares? Who cares? He probably doesn't think that deep enough about it to have an actual critical of Trump, because Trump is just a racist white man the same way Bill Clinton was a racist white to black people. So Kendrick Lamar probably is just as well saying like, yep, MAGA ain't that bad. Or even worse, put on the MAGA hat and say, yeah, let's make America great. Though that's hard to imagine, because I do look up to Kendrick. I do think he's very smart. But there's been, the last few years have showed us there's a lot of smart, dumb niggas out there. There's a lot of smart, dumb niggas out there who really think a racist, blonde-haired, blue-eyed white man cares more about us than a woman who's even half like does. Anyway, that's really all I got to say today. That's really all I got to say. I hope my message was clear. I hope I got to the point. Fascism is not a funny thing, but humor is the #1 communicator of fascist ideas. The end result is not going to be funny, but we have to use humor to communicate the idea of people being on code, being on the same page, having a deep hatred for the other, a love of the self, even if it's unfounded, even if it's not real, even if it makes no sense, even if it's built on lies. We just have to straight up lie to our people. Whatever it takes, making the next generation of young black men become fascists for our cause. Because we're about to see the rising tide of fascism will lead to the deaths of millions, unless we do something about it. You get what I'm saying? Just Venture says, who's going to slide for Diddy? I'm going to put on that baby oil and I'm going to slide for Diddy. Let's go. We sliding for Diddy. Where the baby oils at? Well, let's fill up the super soakers full of baby oil and slide for Diddy. Facts, facts, facts. Free Diddy. Free Diddy, free Kelly. We end in every live stream like that. Facts, facts, facts. Y'all be easy out there. Thank you for listening to this live stream.